There was an anonymous player poll again. We did a video on this last week. This is a series that is done by The Athletic via the New York Times every single year, where they go and they give a survey to a bunch of Major League players on some sensitive subjects sometimes, and then they get to answer those questions anonymously. They compile it, and they put it together into an article. This year, though, there was 5 articles, all of which kind of ask different questions and get kind of different answers. And we're going to go over them, and I'm going to tell you what I think, and I want to know what you think. Boy, these are so fun. I did these every year. I couldn't wait, because it is the best way to just complain. And there's nothing better than just complaining. All right, so let's do this, and let's get right into it. The anonymous player poll. Poll number 1. What players do the other players love to watch? Who are the favorite and least favorite players in the league according to players? I have some information here. By the way, really, really great reporting for everybody. This one's Casey Borowski, and the staff writers. So please go read the entire article. The Athletic is more than worth it. So I'm not going to tell you everything. We're just going to go over some of the highlights of these. And really, if you want to support this reporting and these people's work, make sure you go subscribe to The Athletic. It is one of my go-tos every morning when it comes to baseball news. All right, the first question was managers guys want to play with. The top 5 choices in order, with number 1 being my doppelganger, according to the internet, Bruce Bochy. 16% of guys were like, Bochy's the man. He's won 4 World Series. The guy's a legend. And he's still doing it, just hobbling around and being low voice Bruce Bochy. I agree with this wholeheartedly. And I'll be honest, this top 5 are all my top 5 probably, right? So the top 5 were Bruce Bochy, then followed by Terry Francona right behind him. Stephen Voter, come on. Craig Counsell, and then Brian Snicker and Dave Roberts kind of tied in 5th, which is cool. And then there was, obviously Alex Coro's out there, Carlos Mendoza, Aaron Boone, like all the good teams generally, AJ Hinch, like they liked him and they were interested. But the other interesting one was players you don't want to play for. Far fewer responses, surprising absolutely nobody. But the number one guy, the number one guys, because there are 2, by a kind of a landslide, were Bud Black, the former Rockies manager, because they were absolutely horrendous when this was taken, and they continue to be horrendous. So I don't know why I said they were, because they still are. And then Ollie Marmol, 5 votes each, and the reasons given were like the Rockies suck, and I don't know. He just gets thrown out a lot. Which, you know what? I'll be honest. I think a bunch of guys cop out there. I would have really specific reasons. They do too. But again, don't rock the boat, and you won't get too many waves. You know what I mean? Other managers also put out there. Mike Schilt was a positive one. He was also not liked by a few people. Ron Washington, and they're just like, but just because I want to use my cell phone, we've covered that. That's not his fault. And Gabe Kapler got in the list because everyone, I don't know, they just probably think he's too woke. Or he's just an eye guy, or just like a look at, I don't know. Maybe he's too jacked. I don't know. Maybe it's wearing the aviators. I don't know. It could be anything. But he's not a manager, guys, so he can't hurt you. Don't worry. And that's kind of where the managers and who they want to play with go to. All of that makes a lot of sense to me. It probably makes a lot of sense to you guys as well. Then we had the second one, poll number 2. MLB players make it clear they won't play for the A's. But which teams do they like? Now, we just talked about managers. Oh, these are in the wrong order. The last one was the thing. This is the anonymous player poll. Which players do you love watching most? I'm so sorry about that. I'm an idiot. These are different. These were reversed. I don't know why, but they are. So this is actually the first poll. The players that other players enjoy watching the most. Surprise, number 1 is Shohei Ohtani, greatest player in the planet. Cheat code, might be the best player ever. He's not from this world. We get it. And he's just fun and complains a lot when he's hit. And then Following him are Bobby Witt Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., all the juniors, Ellie De La Cruz Jr., and Mookie Betts Jr. Those are like the top 5, all for their athleticism, because they're freaks. They do crazy stuff. And then we have Fernando Tatis has been thrown out there. We had a Michael Harris mentioned, which is cool, and Bryce Harper is thrown out there. And the only pitcher is Paul Skeens. So at least we got that. Okay, but what hitters do pitchers fear the most? Ooh, this is good. Let's get into these ones. I'm going to actually switch this back before we do this because it's driving me crazy. All right. Let's talk about hitters. The pitchers are scared of the most. Juan Soto, 15%. Yeah, that tracks. I'll go with that. Shohei Ohtani, 14%. And Aaron Judge. Those are the top 3. Anyone surprised? I'll be honest. I'm surprised Aaron Judge isn't number 1 right now. For the power thing, but Juan Soto, good, bad, or indifferent, he is a nightmare to pitch to. Nobody likes it. You can't strike him out. The other 2 guys strike out, and Juan Soto doesn't. And as someone who struck guys out, I hated it. There were some other ones thrown out there. Yordan Alvarez, because he's massive and you think he's going to kill you if you hit it back at you. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, all the regular ones. And Jose Ramirez finally makes a list as well. He's in there. But there's some great comments, some great quotes, so make sure you go read the full article. What about pitchers? Hitters least want to face. What pitchers are the scariest? Number 1, Chris Sale. I agree with this. I would have went with this too. He's funky, he's nasty, and he punches tickets, and he's a bulldog. He's a scary dude. He's just a dude who throws like nobody else. You're never used to it. It's awful. And he was followed closely by Tarek Skubal, Zach Wheeler, and then Aroldis Chapman in his prime got number 4 on this list. There are some other interesting ones here down at the bottom. Go check out. But I'll be honest, did not see everyone else also agreeing Chris Sale, but I would have said Chris Sale in my top 3 as well. So that was really awesome and interesting. But I wonder what you guys think. And honorable mention, Michael King made the list, which is pretty cool. Good for him. Love to see it. All right, let's get into the third one. Robo umps might be coming to the MLB. Are the players for or against them? Yes, we are doing it. We're here. Okay. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred announced the automated ball strike system, ABS, may be implemented early 26. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. I have some other things to get into. But 63.4% of players oppose full Robo rump. Reeling it back in. 63.4% of players oppose full Robo umps. Got it. Nailed it. First try. Only 17.1% are in favor, with 19.4% like, nah. Which, come on, guys, you know.
It is summertime. We are in the thick of golf season. It's always golf season down in Florida, but we're in the thick of golf season across the country, and someone's looking to get a new club. That logo should say it all. PXG. What do they do?
Go get fitted. Mm-hmm. Go get fitted by one of their master fitters, professional fitters. I've done it. It's helped shave many strokes off my handicap. It is worth it. It's educational. You learn about not only clubs, you learn about shafts, you learn about grips, you learn about angles. They have all the numbers, all the setups that you need to help improve your handicap.
You feel like a VIP when you're there.
100%. They even help my putting, which needed help.
Mm-hmm. There. They help your putting there.
There.
That's how cool it is. So schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you could save up to 20% on your entire order. Head over to pxg.com/foul. That's pxg.com/foul to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/FOUL. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
And they're mostly scared about it removing the human element, right? Because who cares if humans play the game? So here's the main arguments being made, and I'm going to parrot a lot of these because I agree. Loss of the human element, it'll take away like humans playing against humans and human error, which is kind of the point of the tension, right? If you think something might go wrong, that just adds a little bit of flavor. I appreciate that. Impact on catchers. They're graded very heavily on framing and ability to steal strikes, which I think is a skill. That'll go away. Everyone hates that. Some people don't trust the technology. I'll be honest, it is pretty easy to rig it. And I don't necessarily fully trust the commissioner's office and everything they say. So that does bring some questions in, like, if you could just adjust it to get the things you want. I don't like that at all. So I agree with that. Uncertainty creates strategy. A little bit of uncertainty, people's got to make adjustments and make predictions. When you add more certainty into the game, it becomes less fun to watch. Agree with that. And competitive balance. I don't know if there's a lot of competitive balance problems. I think that it'll be the same both ways. So I'm not super interested about it. But the people who really like it are like, we need to get every single call right. I don't think that's true. And you can correct big missed calls in the strike zone like you would out in the field, like if a ball's fair, foul, whatever. They want that. But that is solved by the challenge system. And I think that's a lot of people are really, really excited about the challenge system. So they really, 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 really want the challenge system. The sentiment switches, and about 66% of guys are for the challenge system, but not full robo umps. Okay? Additionally, there were some write-ins. Player suggestions for improving baseball. Now, this is what I want to hear about from you guys in the comments and in the chat. Let me know what you think of the player suggestions for improving baseball, okay? Schedule changes. Less games, more off days. I'll say it again, a little bit louder for you. Less games, more off days. Same footprint of the season, 183 days, just take 10 games off. Yes, do it. I am a huge proponent. I think that you will get the injury rate will go down significantly with 10 less games. 10 less games. We're not talking about cutting it in half. We're going 152 from 162. Unfortunately, the number of games in any sport will never go down. It will only go up ever, because there's like literally they can measure money made per game. And when you reduce the number of games, there will be less money made for that owner, and they're out. No. So it'll never happen, but I fully agree with it. They also have mentioned maybe every Monday off like the minors. Now, that's a lot of off days, but I think that's sick. Some said maybe we should just do 7-inning doubleheaders. I would have loved that as well. Fans hate that shit, so it'll never happen. Actually, I don't think I can swear here. Crap. Sorry about that. And there's one minority view that I put in bold red. You'll be able to see it. I think it's in red in massive letters. It said, one player suggested a longer season. Shut up. Go sit in timeout. Shut up. Stupid. A lot of players said they want some rule changes. They want them changed again. And the popular ones were bring back the shift. Do the fans want that? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Eliminate the pitch clock. That ain't happening. Scrap the 3-batter minimum. Remove pick-out limits. Allow pitchers to step off. And remove the recent catcher's interference rules. So those are all pitchers. Those are all pitchers. Nobody... Every single one of those guys is a pitcher. There's no way that's anybody else. So my guys, I appreciate you're on the right side of history. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen, but I do think that you were on the right track. And some extreme views. I mean, I like sliding the bases, knocking the catcher out. Okay, same guy wanted a longer season, I'm sure. We're all so tough. Anyway, there were some other interesting ones. Just really quickly, I'll touch off the top, and then we'll move on to the next poll. They would love for better marketing players, better media presence, whatever. There are some changes happening there. We are going to cover that in our main segment today, which I will be getting into in just a moment. Labor and economic changes. This is irrelevant because we're going to have a CBA negotiation after next season. Players would love to get rid of a year of arbitration. That means you're going to get a salary cap. So if you want that, you're going to need that. That's the way it's going to have to work. But I do agree with that. I hate arbitration. If you're going to either crap or get off the pot, I don't care. Get rid of a year. It'll solve a lot of problems. But unfortunately, the trade-off will have to be some sort of salary cap or salary cap function that is beyond the luxury tax that currently acts like that way. There was also some random outside the box ideas, which I want your opinions on. Match play, golf style, like each inning is won individually, kind of like tennis. I don't know about that one, Chief. Expand the league to 32 teams. I like that. Make retractable roofs mandatory, so everyone has to have them, so there's no more rainouts. Love that as well. Umpire demotions for poor performance. That kind of exists, but not in a standardized or formal way. They should do that. Double the first base bag like softball style. We talked about this the other day. I agree with that one as well. Home run derby to settle extra innings. I don't think that's more fun, though pitchers don't have to pitch, so maybe I am on that. And then just remove the strike zone graphic from TV. Never happen. That'll never happen because it literally enhances the viewing experience. It just does. People enjoy it better. They like knowing one way or the other if it's close or not. It's better that way. It just is. Even if it's not entirely accurate, it still makes it better. And I'm the final word on that. So nothing else. You can't say anything else. So, okay. All right. Poll number 4, guys. We're gonna hit these real hard. Poll number 4. MLB players' impact on sports betting and fan interactions. We talked a lot about this too. I'll give you guys as their high-level stuff, and maybe give you some anecdotes. So there's been a lot of death threats, concern over financial vulnerability. They're worried about death threats and family threats. Obviously, a lot of people have said, I lost this amount of money, so I'm going to come after your family. Saying horrible stuff like that. It's terrifying. Are they usually mean nothing by it? Yes, but it only takes one, and it's just you got to take these things seriously. And MLB security has to be on top of that stuff, and it has been happening more and more and more, not just in baseball, everywhere. You add financial stakes to a sports game. I just said sports game into sports. It's just going to add more emotion. It's just the way it is. We've covered that when we come to the top. But there's one thing that someone mentioned that I hadn't really thought about: a concern over financial vulnerability of younger players being targeted for potential match fixing. When betting numbers get really high, now the incentive. You can incentivize a young guy who's not making a lot of money. You could pay him a lot of money to fix something if the number's high enough. That does open the door a little bit. I don't think it opens it a lot, but it opens a little bit. And that is a slight concern. I'm not super concerned about it, but it seems like some players are. So they're not generally not super happy about it. And also some players have mentioned that there's also baseball players who bet on other sports. And sometimes, just like the people it affects their mental health a little bit when things aren't going well. Teammates have seen that happen to their buddies on their team, where like they're just losing a couple more than they would like, or they had some big stakes on something else, and it just kind of affects them a little bit, and they seem a little down. And like this is a slippery slope as well, because you already do a high pressure job. So like that's just extra stress you're adding to your life. So that's been mentioned as well. Obviously, it is a choice. You don't have to do it, but it could complement things in the past. And it is, at the end of the day, your choice to make. But I do appreciate some players having that concern for their teammates. It makes a lot of sense to me. Here's some specific examples from a couple guys. One NL pitcher said, "People suck, dude." He said he muted the word parlay on social media to avoid seeing gambling-related posts. Smart. You can mute words on on Twitter. You can do that. So good luck. Whether or not it works remains to be seen, but good luck. And one AL East pitcher said they just deleted social media completely, which I would say if you're going to do it, go that road. And I'm sorry, fans, that means less interaction for you, but it is what it is. You got to do this. So all very interesting. It seemed like guys had a lot to say, and I did not expect this. So are guys super happy about the way it is? It was hard enough with fantasy sports. And now athletes are trying to navigate their way through it. If what you want is for them to kind of retreat and no longer be available to you publicly, then that is what they need to do. Then I highly recommend that's what you do as a player. All right, the last poll, really quick. MLB players talk biggest misconceptions about playing the game in general, like travel, missing family events. I've talked a lot about these things, but these guys are about to back me up. So real quick, let's hit it. Number 1. Mentioned the grind. Schedule being tired and losing time. You miss out on a lot of things. You don't get 4th of July with your family ever. You're working. You are the entertainment of 4th of July. Mother's Day, Father's Day. You're literally playing every day. So you're never going to do any of these things. That can suck. And a lot of that has to do is a big reason that I didn't have a child until I retired. And that was a conscious effort. I thought about that on purpose because I didn't want to be absentee, and that wasn't fair, and I didn't want to miss stuff. And actually in high school, this happened even before. In high school, I missed my junior prom because of baseball. Like, it literally, baseball is just, it's all the time. So more so than other sports. So you do miss out on a lot of things, but that is just a sacrifice you make. It's just one of the many. The reality of the travel, this is great. You're constantly living out of a suitcase and never feeling grounded sucks. That was a big deal for me. Travel fatigue builds. Literally, late arrivals, changing time zones, constantly going to bed later and later, trying to catch up on sleep. You're always thinking about catching up on sleep. And even with charters and everything, it is the best case scenario, but the way the season's set up, with the number of off days, it's hard regardless. And there's often no times to even have any ability to enjoy the city or use any energy from the traveling itself. Because that's a lot of times the fun of traveling, and you don't even get to do that. So that is grueling. It's grueling in this weird slow burn. Like, by the time it's September, you're like, I hate walking. I hate moving. Moving sucks, and I don't want to move anymore. So, it is what it is. And then there's the emotional toll of the stress of, like, actually playing. And it's 162 games. You got to be ready every single day as a reliever. It sucked, but it also was awesome. It's just one of those things. Like, it's a day-to-day thing, just like any job. Some days you're excited to go in, some days you're not. Some guys are like, I hate it when people say baseball's easy because it's so hard. And we collectively as a whole, Major League Baseball players, we hate the debate about sports and about which sport is the hardest. It is so annoying because it's obviously baseball. No, it's not. Actually, I would say it's if you isolate into a single event, like one game, playing in one game, one contained event, I would say golf or tennis are probably the hardest and most grueling because it's a weekend. You're playing a ton of matches, a ton of rounds all at once, and you got to be super locked in with hand-eye coordination. You can't get off by a centimeter, and you're getting exhausted. Golf especially, I can't imagine what playing on Sunday is, especially if you're leading the tournament and the stress. A little bit a little yip can just ruin your round. So you have to be perfect in those two, in my opinion, and they're exhausting. But in terms of an entire season, I think baseball's up there. Football's obviously up there as well, but they play once a week and they get a day off. So mentally, they might have a little bit more rest than baseball players do. So, whatever. Yell at me in the comments. It is what it is. Also, life off the field. Not everyone parties. No, they don't have a bunch of houses. Vast majority of guys don't have enough money to retire on, even if they played for years. You don't start making real money until free agency, and most people don't get there. So the baseball player, there are some baseball players that are absolutely balling out. Okay, let me be very clear. But it's a small percentage, just like it's a small percentage for all the other sports. There's so many baseball players also. There's just so many. So the chances that you know someone who plays professional baseball and doesn't have very much money, it's much higher than you know somebody who has a lot of money. So I know for a fact it took free agency to get me in the position to be able to retire. And it's like that for the most, especially if you're a reliever, because no one likes you. All right. And then your careers are short and it sucks. So sad. All right. Those were the player polls put out by the New York Times and the Athletic via the New York Times. Great reporting. Evan Drellick, I believe, Saros was in here maybe. This is Annie McCullough. They do amazing work. I truly believe that they think outside the box. I love that they report. It's fun. It's less this is what happened, and more interesting takes on the game and behind the scenes. I think they're giving some of the best behind the scenes view of the game that is out there. So if you're going to subscribe, you want to do a physical media or like a newspaper subscription, this should be one of them. The Athletic does good stuff, and they cover all the sports. So I am a big fan. I am biased. I do rates and barrels with them as well, but like I truly do always really enjoy it. It's like what I would be writing, the topics that I would cover if I could cover them. So highly recommend. If you like this show, you'll like them as well. And shout out to them for their amazing work.